Hello and welcome back to CS103 Machines, Languages and Computation, and welcome to week 9. Just a brief reminder that the second class test is on Friday the 4th of December, so that's the end of week 11, and it will be in the same format as the first one. Test paper released in the morning, upload your solution document 8 hours later, and it counts for 25% of your mark. You do all the questions on the paper, and the 5 questions are on infinite sets and non-computable functions. We finished that off this week. I'm going to give you the answers for the exercise. In fact, you should have already seen those in the 2 steps that preceded this. Grammars and recursion, that was week 7, so there'll be an exercise on that. Sorry, there'll be a question on that. Then this week's stuff is on grammars and regular expressions. I gave you a little bit of a preview of that, but we're going to do it properly this week with an exercise. Question 4 is on recursion in logical definitions, and I'll be coming on to that stuff this week as well. And then finally, next week's stuff is all about recursion in function definitions in the Python programming language. So there'll be a question on that as well. So questions 2 to 5 are all about recursion, and question 1 finishes off the stuff that we did in the first half of the class. So in the second half of the class, we're talking all about recursion. Recursion being this idea that you can define infinite things using finite resources, often very finite resources. You can define, for example, an infinite language, such as the push-pop language that we've been through, using a grammar consisting of only 3 rules. And if you use the OR syntax, then it's just a single line, and you'll have seen that now. So this week, we're going to look at these areas: recursion and strings. So instead of looking at words like push and pop or Brian and Beryl, we're just going to look at letters. Essentially, the letters stand for a command or a word or something. And we're going to explore the structure of languages, those being the sets of strings that a grammar defines, that a grammar generates. We're going to look at the structure of those languages, and we're going to use things called regular expressions to describe those sets of strings. Then later in this week, we're going to look at recursion and logical definitions, and we're going to define a way using recursion to show that Orville Simpson is in fact the ancestor of Bart Simpson from the Simpsons TV program. Then next week, we're going to look at recursion and function definitions. So this week, lots and lots of recursion, and I'll see you in the next video.